Ну что, продолжим диско Elysium. Наконец-то. С Horizon разобрались, но осталось только дополнение. Опять эти две надписи одинаковых. Почему два раза он пишет? Этот показ начался. Вообще в идеале не надо этого писать, я и так знаю. Так, на чем мы там остановились? Нам надо поговорить с нашим философом. Так. Посмотрим, что у нас вообще. Что у нас вообще? Кто-то позвонил, сообщил о возможно, если выяснить, кто это. Угу. Даже если у вас нет никаких очевидных зацепок, продолжайте искать звонившего. На это может потребоваться некоторое время. Прикольно. Тут даже часики отображаются. После 21:00. Так, хорошо. Чего у меня карта не открыта, как будто бы? А, да. Так, нам надо было поговорить с философом, и нам надо было опросить водителей. Пойдем поговорим сначала с этим охранником. Что он нам скажет? О. Задание выполнено.
I find myself at a crossroads. On one hand, this, and of course, you will not be able to free yourself from the yoke of rule. If the Rebasholian degenerate is capable of critical thought, he may still prove a race admirable.
Jean, baby, do the heroic thing.
That is not possible. The game of Shahmat you play as the rules tricks is on. The day you make it once.
Можешь пройти один раз.
Well done.
Ну что ж, отлично. Так. Так, а как мне туда пройти? Может, он открыл другую дверь, которая там стоит? Стоит. Да, отлично. Я думал, дверь находится за ним, и он преграждает нам путь. А нет, оказывается. Так, интересненько, что у нас тут есть. Темная жидкость в кофейнике походит на разумное существо. Книга, краткое описание чего-то там. Ну-ка. Чего? Ага.
The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Friesen. From the sides of his head, a pair of white antlers spread to the... To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. After rifling the pages with your thumb the magazine is divided into several sections. International developments. Kunst und Kultur. Comrade, as you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression. But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going à la fumée, unlike many publications which are So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs.
What do you expect? It was laying around the office of the Debarders Union.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you. This section includes a long, tedious critique of the latest round. You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling along the Messina border. Face it, you really aren't interested in foreign affairs. You flip back to the front of the magazine. It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you that Kunst... It evokes a sense of recognition and fellowship among those. As you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews of recent radio plays, as well as a brief artist's. The main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tournée. This so-called artist spotlight is really just a brief Q&A, made all the brief. The actual article is surprisingly light on details, but after, if you don't follow it, you only ever hear about the ludicrous sponsorships and obscene death toll. You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap of the most recent season. Instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000-word feature about all the politically... Where to even start? For one, there's the crass commercialism of its sponsorships. And then, so, all of it, basically. Oddly enough, this article has 2 bylines. There's no way those are real names. Have you ever met anyone named Exilus? Come on, they're plainly pseudonyms. And that precisely is what's problematic about it. Were it not for the at the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real races that you're really watching for. You see, one cannot avoid the conclusion that Tip Top Tournée is simply the apotheosis of spectacular entertainment under capitalism.
I can safely say the thought had never crossed my mind, Detective. You can still like it, Detective. Just because a cop... If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside of a motor.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you. Unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up with art. You skim the headlines. Paint the harbor red and white. Martinez tame. Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Capeside Apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid. According to these editorials, private enterprise, it goes on to call the Wild Pines a... You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
Ясно. Нет, нет, нет. Так, что тут еще есть у нас? Что это такое? Открытка. Ламинированная открытка с видом на другую сторону реки. Угу. Эту открытку можно продать за кругленькую сумму. О, неплохо. Так, а тут у нас что? Блин, так неудобно вот выбирать, что там есть, что-то там еще или нет. Что за очки? Визуальный анализ, глаз алмаз, не хватает выразительности. А эти логика -1. Да, неплохо, наверное. Так, тут закрыт ящик, да? А, кто-то забыл закрыть один из ящиков. Это очки мне так помогли?
Let's see what's inside. The door opens smoothly. Inside is a web hundreds of documents containing logistical data. Two kinds of transaction and the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol. It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus, but the lines are getting blurry.
Ну попробуем. Ну, естественно.
How unwieldy your own willpower is to yourself. Your like hermeneutics was almost within your grasp, but now only vague letters float before your eyes. Less meaningful. You are a police officer, not a spiritual healer. You can focus the normal way by turning your attention to something and...
Is that what you're doing with those photos over there? Right. This is probably not relevant to our case. After all, we're not investigating an accounting mystery.
Whatever's hidden...
О, отлично.
Well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with a background in logistics would be able to really make sense of it. However, there is...
Так, нашли какую-то небольшую записку. Может, тут про эти поставки водителей будет что-то сказано?
It appears to be a to-do list written in large. Remember, Leo, Everard's shoes, special whirling borscht, water Everard's plants. All items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself is crumpled.
Everard Clare, probably. The head of the Debarders Union. One of his aides must have left it.
The special borscht seems a bit odd in... What is so special about this borscht? Code for drugs? Booze? Blood? Remember, Leo, Everard's... All items on the list. The drawer slides shut.
Понятно. Что-то непонятное с этим борщом особым.
Combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. A note on the side says, tokens unavailable due to strike. Use change.
Ну, давай попробуем.
The machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move. It's unclear whether you actually have muscle memory. Right now, your finger is just drawing vaguely occult patterns. Undoubtedly, no. Sure, why not? Muscle memory, nothing tricky about that. You just do, fail, repeat, until it works. All it takes is motivation and practice.
Понятно. Пойдем посмотрим, что тут на другом этаже. Так, что тут у нас есть? Ага, вот мы поднялись на эту крышу.
Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing head. This is your cloak. You can feel it.
Yes, it does bear the service cloak issued to you by your station.
As your fingers touch the tarpaulin, it almost feels like the cloak. I will shield you from the elements and give my life for yours.
Так, у нас теперь есть плащ. Так, а рубаха... Ой, куртка нам что дает? Это вообще пиджак, по идее. Только к полицейской волне плюс. Вот так вот. Что у нас тут есть? Давай-ка посмотрим. Для сбора дождевой воды. Понятно. Множество пустых бутылок.
Snow is quietly covering the numerous wine bottles and cigarette butts on the ground. Someone parked.
Well, yes, I think we can say with relative confidence that it was you. Yes, this scene isn't exactly ripping with...
Так, что у нас
This is
тут?
the night watchman's booth. Listen, it's okay to take a few minutes to yourself. Sit down and have a breather.
If you must. But please hurry, we are pretty easy.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and their sparse contents meticulous. It's a black and white photo of a young couple out in a street fair. The man, Rene, is dressed.
Why did you take that picture of René? Fine, but let's move. I don't want to be seen snooping around.
The chair is not as austere as the rest of the booth. A thin grey pillow is attached to the seat. Secured, the drawers are empty, save for old timesheets and receipts. One small box, however, does hold some cheap painkillers. Oh boy, where to start? Elevated risk of dementia, mini strokes, prophet's disease. Maybe this was a bad idea.
I'm not here to tell you what to do, detective.
You take the painkillers. They are yours now. You stand and exit the booth.
Так, тут мы осмотрели все. Это, я так понимаю, тоже спуск куда-то? Нет. Там сломаны ступеньки. Посмотрим, что было справа, а потом пойдем вниз. А, сюда нельзя пройти, да? Ну, тогда только вниз. Так, тут же больше ничего нет интересного. Это что такое? Панель управления какая-то? Ага, панель управления.
Two buttons marked Marche and Arrête are faded with use. Allumer on, éteindre off. With a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air.
Так, ну... А, он опускает его еще. Упадет сейчас, что ли?
And with a surprisingly, the harbor sleeps as the strike rages in the distance. Moving this container, of course. For this purpose,
I can't see how that was worth the wreckers, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was...
Так, пойдем посмотрим, что тут есть у нас. Конечно, фиг я открою контейнер, наверное. О, отлично.
before you stands a cargo container.
You do? There are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one? There may very well be, but we are not here to interact with containers. We are here to get the body down from the...
You attempt to turn the handle to no avail. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions. No reply. No reply.
Жаль. Так, туда можно прийти, я так понимаю. Прикольно, надпись выскочила вообще хрен знает где. Да нет, я не хочу с ним говорить. Дай мне мысль. Чё, нет? А что у меня тут в сумке? А, фотография, да? Так, не открывается ящик.
The lyrics to this container song, the accent is so thick, it's impossible not to notice he's Ubi, from the Vanishing Peninsula.
Container, container, used to be well pines. Container, container. Everard, he looks after everyone. I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you? I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks. Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister. Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of...
Told you.
Oh, you want Mr. Everard then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Him and his brother are both nice fellows. They've lived their entire lives in this here neighborhood. Guys like Mr. Everard and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made merchandise what it is today. Mr. Everard and Mr. Edgar and I went to the same school, we did. Oh, Mr. Everard is usually in his office, of course. But you gotta be quick if you want to see him. He leaves around 10 p.m.
Уходит около 10.
Bye-bye.
Так, понятно. Чтобы получить дополнительную информацию в диалогах, выбирайте фразы, которые начинаются со слов «минутку» или «погоди». Угу. Хорошо. Так, что у нас тут есть? Кофе в огромном термосе. А отсюда выглядит как... Я сначала подумал, что это банки с краской. Нифига себе, объект выделен.
Before you is a walrus of a man seated behind a large desk. He looks up from it. With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. He simply...
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you
О,
to
он нас
stop
назвал
by.
по фамилии.
Please, have a seat. I'm Everard Clare, head of the Debarders Union here in Martinez. I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately...
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folding chair.
You go ahead, detective.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll do my best. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great... So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union...
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world.
Из-за стула получен урон здоровья? Вы чё, прикалываетесь, что ли, надо мной? Восстановим, а то мало ли.
By the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Guard.
Как раз уже 9 почти, пойдем с тем чуваком с балкона разговаривать.
This should take care of that nonsense. It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch your...
Hey, that's 25.
25 всего лишь? Блин, мне чтобы расплатиться с барменом, там, по-моему, 100 с чем-то нужно. Чё мне твои 25? Огромный чек.
Don't mention it, but also don't forget it. I'm just kidding.
He's not.
Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak.
О, да, пистолет мой разыскивают.
His slug-like lips move, but all you... The world is swallowed by a black
Еще
hole of
урон
fear.
получен, да вы гоните.
Only two words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and gun.
I know everything, Harry. Right now, It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling everything's going to be all right.
Капец, сколько минусов.
Officer, we will deal with this later.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
Officer, we will deal with this.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
God, you're sweating. Your knee is jerking. You're about to cry, aren't you? You're about to cry because you lost your gun and those children are gonna shoot. You want to cry? God, you're... Whatever you do, don't...
Mr. Dubois.
What is this, Mr. Dubois?
Еще урон, да вы чё, прикалываетесь?
What is he trying to pull here?
Mr. Dubois. Mr. Dubois. Harry. Mr. Dubois, are you okay? Can I get...
Maybe you could use your hands somehow, in a kind of throw-in motion, like you're throwing that Mr. Dubois act right back at him. He's Mr. Dubois.
What an odd demonstration of... you got me, Harry. I don't even know what. As entertaining as it was, I'm
Okay, enough. We are here to ask you some questions.
Quick, here's your window. Get yourself together. It is about time to stop embarrassing yourself. Questions will help you regain some of your lost dignity.
You might have noticed there's one hanging on a tree.
Oh my. Don't take this question personally.
Mr. Clare, the man was hanged with a cargo belt. A steel-reinforced cargo belt. It's safe to assume the Union had. Besides, getting the body down would benefit all of us. It's a stain on the neighborhood.
I can certainly see how having him up there might start affecting some real estate values. But of course, all joking aside, I am going to help you. Jean-Luc, my boy, I'm sending 2 police officers down. They have a dead body in a tree. And, Jean, please take it easy with the race signs. He's had enough of that. You can find Jean-Luc down at the gates, but you already knew that. Anyway, he's going to help you. What? Harry, how could you say that to me? You know I appreciate a joke as much as any Johnny Fat Guy, but I can't take slander. Are you actually You've hurt me, Harry. Me, a friend. But I trust you, like I trust all my friends. And I know you'll never talk to me about this again, because you...
He's hiding his
Подозрительный чувак.
real beneath.
Thank you for your understanding. We will continue to do what we must.
You too, Lieutenant. You know...
None taken. Did we have anything else to do here, Harry?
My dear Harry, there are literally millions of containers in this harbor. Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch. Time is a precious resource, and I don't have a...
Smooth talking. Maybe that's the way to go about opening the container. You should at least try convincing it.
Oh, that's very nice. I haven't gotten around to her yet. One thing I want to make very clear, Harry, is that this is not some kind of union We're all trying to do what's best for Martinez here. Don't feel like you can't cooperate with her, because you and I are such good friends, and I'm helping you get that nasty body down from the tree. I'm not a jealous guy. If she actually wants to see me, she will find a way.
He doesn't want to see her. It's as simple as that.
What do you mean, Harry? Nothing. I let him go. He's an old man, Harry. I wanted him to spend more time with his family. God knows how long he's got left. Empty all your barrels on me, Harry. Vanished? Harry, the woman left... Oh, did I leave my casserole on? Better go home and check.
Wait, there was no mention of a casserole from Joyce.
Harry, Harry, Harry. Do not fixate on this little matter. Maybe it was a rabbit stew.
This particular brand of humor he has, it makes for a fine distraction.
Of course, Harry. Let me just assure you one more time. It's perfect. I have no interest in what she is doing, but I myself... Tell her about all of it. My brother's picture, my singing swordfish clock. Tell her how overweight I am and how I'm helping you find your lost...
It is rather interesting to tell people things about each other, isn't it? It was nice telling him about her right now.
Yes, your lost gun. My best men are on it. They're turning every... Your gun will be found, Harry.
The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage.
Yes. Thank you for the hot tip regarding your lost gun, Harry. My men have indeed. Now, please, let the professionals do their job. Kick back, Harry.
It did not come as a surprise to him. He might actually not be bullshitting.
Damn it, Harry. That's exactly what it means. I'm only kidding, of course.
Понятно, надо что-то сделать, чтобы он вернул пистолет. А, чтобы просто вернуть. Ну ладно.
Of course. I understand. We help you, you help us.
Так, и что нужно сделать? А, нет, подожди. А, не, он типа просто шутит.
Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate. Here, you're one of us now. A real red and white.
Так, теперь у нас есть карта, чтобы ходить туда-сюда. А, чек, то есть... Ну, понятно, короче. С ним можно закупиться на 25 реалов в местном магазинчике Фритте. Понятно. Так, ну теперь надо пойти и... А туда мы можем пройти, нет? Видимо, нет. Тут больше ничего нет. Ну тогда уходим отсюда. Как вовремя. Еще бы чуть-чуть, и он ушел. Так, все мы тут осмотрели. Там еще монеты лежат. Ага, туда мы никак не попадем, видимо, да? Да. Там что-то лежит. То есть я могу даже выбрать. Блин, но я туда никак не попаду. Прям интересно. А, есть выход на крышу, видимо. Над дверью какой-то люк. Попробую. Может, хотя вряд ли, блин. Можно туда вылезти как-то. Так. Ну, видимо, все. Тут больше ничего нет. Пойдем тогда поговорим с нашим философом, чтобы он нам помог снять чувака с дерева. Так, где он, тут или он вниз уже спустился? Ага, с ней нельзя поговорить.
The unpromising raised pupil.
Не подающий надежд ученик возвращается.
So it was. I am promising raised pupil entered the harbor and used my superior.
You're so nope.
There's a pub.
But while I am gone, someone must stand guard on the bridge. That someone needs to be you. Both of you. Babe, see that they stay here the whole
Так, а как долго нам тут стоять, интересно?
The woman's gaze follows.
So, you guys are like cops or something? Look at him. His craniometric perfection. Are you cops or what? Cool. I like men with guns and power. I'm
You heard that? That sound. He's breaking something.
Кто-то что-то lомает.
Yeah, Jean-Luc must be really tearing it up over there. I wish I could see it.
Look at you! RCM rent-a-cops! Guarding that bridge like Everard's lapdogs!
And who are you? What is your business here? Why are your clothes 4 sizes too small for you?
A shrill laughter interrupts you, echoing across Martinez. The man turns to look behind him at the behemoth appearing around the corner, approaching him, walking past him.
Не нравится мне, что-то он там напортачил, скорее всего.
The corpse has been removed from the tree. Stand down and congratulate yourself. Farewell, Hamson Rich. You are a Union man.
Так, ну погнали, посмотрим, что он там сотворил, блин. Да блин, ты что, не можешь по лестнице спускаться? Ой, капец, это неудобная фигня. Ну ты чё, блин? Наконец-то, блин. Что за дебилизм?
The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch. It's gently laid on one side.
Так, хорошо.
Mr. Measurehead.
Получено очко навыков.
Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready.
Сильных повреждений, переломов нет. Крутяк.
Yes.
Да ладно.
1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3. Field autopsy. 4. Transportation of the body to...
The RCM's 4-phase murder scene process.
Cop's gonna cut his shit up.
No, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain. From autopsy to cleanup to social work. Everything. You are. Your station would not have assigned you on the... It's either this, or we complete the initial interviews. We already met Evrard, but didn't quite get his interview done. For that, we would have to ask him about the lynching, like we did with Joyce. Not much late.
Так, да, пойдем поболтаем. Надо было все-таки спросить. Было там пару фраз. Одна, точнее, фраза, которую можно было спросить. Но я почему-то решил этого не делать. Ну. Пока время есть. Он там до 10 только. Я думаю, успеем с ним поболтать. Ну, еще надо зайти в этот магазин Фрите, посмотреть, что мы там можем вообще приобрести на эти 25 реалов. Реалы, блин. Откуда это слово вообще взялось? Эти лабиринты, блин, конечно. Надо как-то тут ящик открыть. Что у нас там есть в карманах? Надо посмотреть. Что-то было вроде.
Mr. De... Oh, of course. That's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez. I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand. But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk.
Yes, that sounds good.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines. Incredibly talented at opening doors. And I'm sure you're going to open this one with flying colors, Harry. This really...
Does this jiggling ooze think he's going to use you? He's got another thing coming. Play his game, son, with your eyes peeled. He's going to slip up, and when he does, you're going to come out on top.
Fantastic, my friend. Just let me know when it's done, and you can get the key from Manana. He's down.
Открыть дверь в квартиру для Эврара.
Manana's like a free agent in the Union. Special operations, hardened socialist, a real free thinker too. He'll tell you precisely where the door is. One last thing, Harry. Just open the door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that weasel to come home and see the unlocked door. See?
Так, понятно. Хочет припугнуть он кого-то. Ну хорошо. Единственное, конечно, он говорит, нельзя заходить туда и что-то делать. От этого прям захотелось очень сильно. Мало ли что мы там найдем. Но этот же такой чувак, говорит, все знает. Естественно, он узнает, что мы там побывали. Ох, как быть, даже не знаю. Так, это мы пока оставим. где мне его, этого чувака найти? Это ж не он, да, вроде бы? Ой, надо уже идти с чуваком с балкона разговаривать.
Oh, hey, mister. I'm new. Sure, mister. Oh, yes. Born and raised in a riot. People say
Нет, это не он.
Thank you for clarifying that, sir.
Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So it's easier for the crane operators to spot them.
The containers
О,
in the
отлично.
yard are green in Wild Pine's livery, and the map. It's like some red infection was spreading outwards from the container yard's core.
No, not really. Miss Everett doesn't tell me all the big things. Says I go and tell them to everyone.
Yes, they are hiding it from the inside. All the red containers have the Debarders Union logo on them.
Oh, no trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all. Oh, yes, yes. I leave all kinds of notes for myself. That old head of mine ain't... Oh, yes. I've been taking special whirling borscht to the men every day since the strike started. It's very, very good. Makes a man feel so warm and happy. I feel like I could take on Mr. Renadan's boar dogs every...
Power borscht, huh? Never heard of a borscht that turns little guys into dogfighters. Alcohol, however.
Yes, yes. I'm taking it to them. The borscht keeps them happy and in fighting spirits. Makes you all warm inside. They brew it. Oh, the whirling's cook. He makes it. Them is always talking with Mr. Manana in that weird language and laughing together. He doesn't speak what we speak. He's from Grad. Oh, sure, mister. Sure.
He didn't actually understand what you meant, and now he's just...
Да, подозрительный борщ. Так, а что мы можем сделать-то с... инструменты. Монтировка. Ну-ка. Какие-то перчатки. Что за перчатки? Плюс 1 сумрак. Ладно, поносим эти, посмотрим, что они нам дадут. Да. Блин, заданий все больше и больше, а ответов-то нет нифига. Может, мы сможем контейнер открыть, если используем где? Убедить дверь открыться? Нет, видимо, это так не работает. Ну хорошо. Блин, чтобы пройти через одну комнатку, столько... 2 загрузки, блин, ждать. Столько времени. Ох, это, конечно, бред какой-то. В принципе, мы можем поговорить с чуваком с балкона и лечь спать. Наступит 2-й день. Не знаю, что от этого изменится или нет. Но я читал, что там можно такую фигню провернуть. Ну, типа, ложишься спать, наступает новый день. Не знаю, какой толк от этого, конечно. Вот и узнаем. Да, вот он, этот чувак.
Like our harbor.
You've been in there, he means. Talked to the boss man too, probably.
It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains. Right. You talk to the boss, eye to eye, like men of the plain. If you have any more questions, A key, huh? What door is this key supposed to open? Oh, say no more. I got that key right here.
Так,
Let me tell you, it's mighty good of you to help us out during the strike. Working class solidarity, as they say. Polar weasel? Oh, I know. What you're looking for is a basement.
дверь в подвал за теплицей, что на заднем дворе танцы в тропе.
That's all
Ага.
I know. Our organization is what you call compartmentalized.
Okay, but where did you get the key?
The janitor gave it to me. Nice fella. None of this mess where this jiving and juggling. What's it for? To feed our children, I guess. I'm more of a philosophical dog worker. I like to talk about the big picture stuff. Who I...
He means he's not going to tell you because he doesn't know. But he will shoot his mouth off with you who he is and what they're fighting for. This is it.
The mercenary, eh? Who could have killed him? That's indeed the question. Why even do such a thing? What a thought! Why would noble workers resort to such a thing? Unless they were pushed. Your dead guy was an enemy who was an agent of the opposition, attempting to undermine our honorable effort. I ain't the murdering type, but that's just me. Large organizations like our union have all sorts of...
He means a more violent faction.
Understood. This has been of limited use. Still, thank you.
No problem. I wish the best to you in your search. Sure, I'm glad it's not my search.
Окей, пойдем откроем. Блин, опять я не могу спуститься. Вот только остается вопрос, стоит ли мне туда спускаться или нет. Пойдем сначала поговорим с нашим другом на балконе, который стоял.
Whoa. What have we here? A bridge with loose nails and rotten-fisted wood that creaks in the wind. A construction code violation if there ever was.
True. They never cleaned up the war damage. The rest of Relashol looks better, though. The bridge is fine enough. Locals use it all the time, after all. It's nothing.
Прикольно. Появляются новые диалоги. Так, отсюда войдем. Однако, здравствуйте. Два шага сейчас сделать до выхода на балкон, и опять загрузка. Такое ощущение, что я не на плойке играю, а на каком-то стареньком компьютере. Музыкальное сопровождение прям атмосферно, мне нравится. Не знаю, кому как. Не можете открыть контейнер, поместите в активный инвентарь монтировку. Попробовать, надо было попробовать с монтировкой. Так.
This door is made of metal and appears to... No one answers.
We should return tomorrow. Tomorrow at 9 p.m.
А, надо вернуться завтра в 21. Ёпть. Я думал, а чё я шел тогда сюда? Время только потратил, блин. Я забыл, что на следующий день. Почему на следующий? Почему не сегодня? Что за... Пойдем тогда открывать подвал. Наверное. Или попробуем контейнер. Блин, туда-сюда бегать не хочется. Если не получится открыть контейнер монтировкой, то придется бежать сюда. Лучше по пути уже зайдем и откроем подвал. Фонарик. Был бы у меня фонарик. По-моему, у меня его нет. А может и есть. Так, это же здесь, да, вроде бы?
This must be it.
Дверь,
The
кажется,
basement
это
door is
здесь.
weather-worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place have... You try to be as silent as you can. It takes a bit of rattling. Finally, the door unlocks with a... As you hold the open door, you can feel...
Войдем. Пофиг, что он нам сказал, не надо там ничего трогать. Я хочу посмотреть. Мне что-то кажется, что он скрывает от нас что-то. Возможно, с этой контрабандой или с чем-то там еще. Произносите правильно. А ударение где? Почему не нарисовали ударение? Так.
A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A dark-skinned woman grinning amidst...
Не буду я стучать по кружкам, делать нечего, что ли? Рубашка. Ой-ой-ой, что я сделал? Ну ладно. Открытая книга. Тайный мир. Ну давай посмотрим, что за книга-то. Попросил отпереть квартиру. Чтобы припугнуть того, кто там живет, сделайте то, что должны. В обмен обещал поделиться с вами информацией по делу. Скажите Врару, что открыли дверь.
This is the flag of Revachol. The Suzerain. This isn't just one sun, but there are little suns dancing around the big sun. It's an optical atmospheric anomaly the first settlers saw. Happens in cold weather. 6 small suns around the big one. This complex halo phenomena is how old Revachol got its...
The tenant isn't...
By old-fashioned, he means very... The flag doesn't seem to mind. It's just a colorful feather with a sun.
Флагу все равно, ну естественно. Так. Что это тут? Нет, думаю, смысла нет мне это брать. Рубашку тоже, наверное, не буду брать. Пойдем отсюда. Я, наверное, не успею к нему вернуться до 10. Сколько там время было? — 21:58. Ну-ка, успеем, интересно? Время-то вроде не идет, если не разговаривать ни с кем. Куча загрузок, просто невероятное количество загрузок. Еще одна загрузочка.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down.
На этот раз вам не обязательно садиться, ведь вы уже сидели на этом стуле. Понятно.
I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you? You're right, Harry. You only had to unlock the door, which you did. So now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good.
А, вот кружка, там же точно В подвале я сейчас кружки увидел, а до этого, несколько стримов назад, в мусорном баке я нашел кружку, тоже разбитую. А еще я нашел похожий в мусорном баке рядом с одеждой. Блин, ну нельзя говорить это.
By now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Sent to scare us. Another... Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to...
You mean our victim?
A security contractor? Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of...
He performs a motion as if spraying.
I'm talking beasts. Hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Santa Maritza, you name it. Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant. Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container. About my fun container? It's a hoot, Harry. Who knows? Maybe you'll be in here the next time they move it. It'll be very fun. But enough about me and my container. The killers the company hired, one of them got downright suicidal. Getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy. The one who likes hanging out.
By negotiator, you mean Joyce?
Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushed. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill. There's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual...
That sounds a bit like...
They're like you guys. Idealistic people who want to make sure bad things don't happen. And if they already have...
Again, that sounds like...
So these idealists...
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, "Boss, socialist democratic fervor..." He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him.
Aren't you worried we might arrest them for this?
Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them. Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand. How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. That's... Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in sediment. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company. After a little rebranding.
So you believe the scabs were organized by the security
You said it. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that.
That does sound quite unlikely, yes. The big guy leading the scabs at the gate is colossal.
Oh, they are simply fine young men. All 7 of them. Exemplary. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and they...
Interesting. Who's seconded?
They're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the best... Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer. You know what, Harry? I got a feeling they're gonna show up in full force tomorrow.
The lieutenant marks something in his notebook.
But of course, it's the least I can do for my good friend.
When you meet this Titus, tell him about this. See what he...
Also, Harry, Here's 5 real. I'm not giving you anything. I'm just holding out 5 real. Oh, I wasn't offering it to you, just holding it out there. But I'm willing to share information. Was there anything
Блин,
else?
сказать или не сказать?
Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And of course, I also wanted you to find your... Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left.
A man of the left. So you have to be a social democrat. He's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats.
Perfect, Harry. That's perfect. My version of the left is not against the companies, it's with the companies.
And what would this entail?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta.
It depends. I don't think what we just got from Mr. Clare.
But, he thinks, it's your call.
As I said, it weighs on me heavily. But once we get really talking, well, I'm gonna hand you the key.
He's saying as little as
Мне
possible,
кажется, нифига
as
он нам не
effectively as
поможет.
he can, deliberately omitting things.
Perfectly acceptable. No one's gonna force you into anything, but I don't know about that gun of yours. You see, I'm a vengeful man, Harry. Part of how... But the good news is, the moment you change your mind...
The lieutenant's eyes. Okay, fine.
I don't know what that means, Harry. Shady brew? There are... You know what? Don't even tell me. Whatever it is, do it. Surprise...
He sincerely has no idea what you were talking about. And he doesn't care either.
Most
Ладно,
certainly.
скажу я ему все-таки.
Racist mugs in the trash and in the apartment? You guys... I have so much confidence in the ability of your organization. I'm relieved you're doing this and leaving me to do what I do.
Yes, yes. Do you think this weasel is somehow connected?
Oh, no, 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 no. I don't cross paths like that. All I want is for you to succeed. Believe me, Harry, he's a nobody. Just your basement variety nobody. Can't imagine... But he does live nearby. Maybe it's a pedantic weasel. Fascists are known to be neat freaks. I feel like a real detective right now, Harry. Of course, Harry. I'm not a real police officer. You are. By all means, Harry, what's on your mind?
Все, надоело мне с ним болтать. Поговорить хочет напарник со мной. Давай поговорим.
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. The nights are still miserably cold this time of year. We should take care of it. Let's talk to him anyway. An officer...
Оставил это. Что? О чем речь? Ой. Да, подозрительный чувак. Не хочется ему больше помогать. Почему я в той комнате не могу лечь спать, интересно? Почему он мне говорит, что нужно все-таки договориться с барменом? Так, стоп, что это тут? Ага. Так, что у нас тут имеется? Позвоним в участок, попробуем. Конечно, вряд ли они мне помогут. Ну, мало ли вдруг. Чё? На вкладке карты отображаются все белые проверки. Я думал, на вкладке карты должна отображаться карта. Эх. О, пропал чувак. И тут все пропали. Попробуем.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Sir, officer. What's the number? And got it. I'll contact the ICG database immediately. Call back tomorrow.
Перезвонить завтра.
The International Collaboration Police, ICP, is an inter-Isoleri law enforcement service, the crown jewel in the moral intern diadem, alongside EPIS and the coalition government.
Just a sec. Yes, hello? Oh, great. What else do you need, detective? Uniform? I never saw you in any uniform. You had your things on.
Диско-прикид.
Disco things.
You hear the call breaking up.
Anything else I can help you with? Just a moment.
10-4, come in, officer. 10-4, I hear you. What does he want now? Is if I don't give that asshole anything. Right, that's a negative on the additional funds, over. He says he isn't getting a request.
Nothing is working.
He says he's in trouble, doesn't have a place. Well, I guess it better. Vigmar said...
Дело до заката, говорит, пусть закончит.
He said... What is he saying? Did you want anything else, sir? Many of your colleagues are also here.
He's trying to keep you from further... What? I thought you had your shit together. This is nearing a complete meltdown. Stop it.
Let us address them now, sir. Over. Roger that. 10-10. Over and out.
The white suede feels luxurious under the touch, and the metal clutch handle, so as you tap on the gauge, the indicator pin jerks as if startled. It's in the large orange.
There's no use pressing the heat.
Translation. Alternative translation. Don't even think you can drive my imps.
Понятно. Пойдем поговорим с барменом. Может, он все-таки оставит нас на ночлег. Сейчас будет моя любимая музыка играть. Нет? Тут, кстати, много людей. Можно еще поболтать, прежде чем идти спать.
Can I help you? Yes, have you got it? You must be joking, right? You come here, trash it. This isn't a game show. I'm not going to accept it.
Damn you, fat Everard.
You can cash it in at the local frit near the harbor gates, though it might not be enough to cover it.
Does that arrangement include you paying me what we already agreed you owe me?
I understand your predicament as the manager. I feel I must remind you that we are here to conduct an important investigation.
Forgive me for saying this, but your colleague seems more committed to drinking. I mean no offense. It's really nothing personal. I just have to protect the interests. Good luck trying to use it. All the locks have an electronic component. They have to be unlocked down here with a master key before your guest. Not until...
Okay. I might have something in my motor carriage we can use when you're done here.
I really didn't want to resort to this.
Oh, Lieutenant, we're done here.
Прикольно. Че, я с этим не могу поговорить, чуваком? А с этим? Че, он не хочет вообще ни с кем разговаривать? Да ладно. Я-то думал, сейчас будут новые диалоги. Где этот повар?
You see, a heavy steel. The door does not budge.
Эх. Грустно.
The door is still no. You should punch a fucking hole in it. You slam your fist into the vinyl. It does not produce a hole.
Stop that.
This door can only be still no. The lieutenant. You should punch it.
Hey, what is your problem?
That felt good. Everyone is a whore. You slam your fist into the vinyl. It does not produce a...
Stop that.
Так, а эта дверь не откроется, да? Почему вот написано L3, R3, но по факту они не работают никак? Непонятно. Говорит, в машине что-то есть. Ну пойдем посмотрим, что там в машине у тебя. Прикольно. Хотя раньше днем я приходил, заходил в эту комнату спокойно. А сейчас он такой: нет, платите. Блин, а про борщ ему ничего сказать нельзя, да?
Do I have a shaker in my hand? Is this...
It's not a shaker. It's nothing. He's hold...
Am I wearing a little bow tie? Am I wearing a... Am I smiling? Do you see me smiling and shaking my little shaker? Because I'm not a bartender. I'm a cafeteria...
Play it calm. This man needs to understand you need a drink to help the community deal with police stuff.
Oh, well, in that case, let me pour you a nice, big, refreshing marinella. Do you want that out of a glass or a pineapple? Don't be an imbecile. I'm not going to serve you a marinella. I have work to do and broken things to fix.
Прикольно. Ну ладно. Что там у него в машине есть? Мы же все взяли, что можно было вроде. Ну давай, загрузись уже.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers.
I have something here we could sell. Look in the back.
Transport enclosure. Regular people just call it the cage. The cage at the back of the motor carriage looks rather uncomfortable.
I confiscated this for a little while back. We can take them to the pawn shop down by the Martinez Canal.
The lieutenant nods as you take the spinners.
Так. Блестящие колпаки на диске. А раньше ты не мог это сделать, блин? Вспомнить бы еще, где тут ломбард был. Но вроде это не оно. Что-то там есть наверху на крыше. Ломбард к югу от площади было написано. Ну и чё ты медленно так ходишь? Куда-то мы пришли не туда. А, вот, точно.
Greetings on this fine night. What brings you here? The pawn shop is always open.
Feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light, while the mind continues to race forward, a drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow.
Why on earth? These are prescription. I can't really see without them. I've had to take it. You know, since the People's Park.
He's taking it for mental and emotional, not physical pain these days.
We were an all-volunteer force, self-organized, tried to help the fight. I lived by the river since I was a small boy. There wasn't much the volunteer force could do, however. We wasted years in the river mud, years getting sick. The clean-up happened 15 years ago, so I came to Martinez. People told me don't go there, it's a shithole. I said, people, we just had and I like the theory more than the story.
Yeah, you gotta get in on those vortices, my man.
Sure thing. Maybe. Shady-looking guys came in here yesterday, looking like they'd just taken off their wild pup. They went their way. It was a trip.
Maybe Claire really is tracking down your gun.
Sure,
А может, хочет найти его, чтобы шантажировать. Так.
Yes, we'd like to sell these hubcaps.
Roy takes the hubcaps from the loop.
Yes, these are very, very good. Did you
No one was defrauded or jumped.
Of course. I meant no offense.
Thank you. Here's the 130 real you need for your...
Почему 130?
Do not waste.
The rest is
Ну, логично, да.
to compensate for the pain of being separated.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Нет.
Another time, perhaps.
Ну что ж, теперь мы можем расплатиться с барменом, который не бармен, и лечь спать. Но я думаю, это мы сделаем уже в следующий раз, чтобы сразу начался второй день, и мы такие... Ладно, не буду ждать загрузки, на этом все. Спасибо, приходите на следующий стрим.